We are pleased that you are able to join us, and it is my pleasure to welcome our host, the Commander of the Air Force Reserve Command, Lieutenant General Richard Scobee and his wife, Janice, and the Command Chief of the Air Force Reserve Command, Chief Master Sergeant Timothy White Jr. and his wife, Edith. To our nominees and their guests, our commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, unit members, and citizen airmen throughout the command, thank you all for joining us. Today marks a time-honored tradition of recognizing outstanding accomplishments and those members in our ranks who have gone above and beyond. While we traditionally prefer to recognize and celebrate their significant accomplishments in person, we've had to adapt and overcome the limitations brought on by the pandemic. This brings us to an important point. While we are grateful to have the ability to leverage technology to celebrate the accomplishments of our nominees, we may run into some technical difficulties or just some opportunities to showcase our flexibility and patience. Please, if you experience a technical glitch, just rejoin the celebration as soon as you are able. This is a proud moment for our nominees. It's also a proud moment for the Air Force Reserve Command. Through their many achievements, these airmen have set new standards for themselves, fellow airmen, and the command. Each nominee will tell you that success is not an individual achievement, but the product of dedicated teammates working together towards a common goal. The airmen recognized today, they personify the very essence of what we strive for. They are brave airmen, model citizens, and they serve our nation with honor and distinction. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I know you're eager to hear from General Scobee and Chief White, but first, I will ask our nominees to please turn on your cameras. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the Commander of the Air Force Reserve Command, Lieutenant General Richard Scobee, who is joined by his wife, Mrs. Janice Scobee. Over to you, sir.
Thanks so much, Senior. Outstanding job. You're gonna be an MC for a long time. Appreciate everything you're doing. And my thanks to everybody that helped put this on. Putting on a virtual event is not as easy as you might think it is. Well, for us, we just showed up and are being entertained. But Chris Chavez and the whole group, you guys have just done a fantastic job, and we really appreciate it. So a couple of things I want to say. First of all is thanks to all the leadership here that supported these airmen to get to where they are. As I see your faces scroll across the screen, I tell you, Janice and I are very proud to be able to serve with you. To our airmen who we've got to spend the last hour with, I have to reiterate how much we're impressed with the things that you've done. The one thing I can assure you is I have never accomplished the things in my career that you've already accomplished in yours. So as Janice said to our first breakout room, is anybody could be the commander of the Air Force Reserve. And as sad as it is to say, that is true. So the bar that you have crossed to be the top of your peer group is amazing. And we are so proud of you. As the command team with the Command Chief Tim White, myself, and Edith and Janice, we are really proud to be able to serve with you every day. And the things that you do are so amazing. Thanks for serving. Thanks for continuing to show up with us to work every day. We know it's never easy. And the deployments, things that take you away from your family, things that take you away from your home, they're always tough. But it's airmen like you that stand up to serve this nation that have made a difference. And I've seen it in my extensive career, and we've seen it together as a command spouse team. Thanks for everything you're doing. Appreciate you.
Thank you, General and Mrs. Scobee. We will now turn over the floor to the Command Chief of the Air Force Reserve Command, Chief Master Sergeant Timothy White Jr., who is joined by his wife, Ms. Edith White.
Hey team, it is an honor to be here, and likewise, boss, again, you and Miss Janice, it is a pleasure to host this event with you today. We just joined we just got out of the breakouts, and Edith kind of whispered, her mouth was trying not to move, but she said, "You just be talking." So I'm gonna try not to talk too much, and I apologize for the last breakout room because I probably do talk too much. But very excited about tonight and for all the hard work that went into this. And as I quickly went across the screen, I see the NAV Command Chiefs, the NAV commanders that are here. Thank you for taking your time out. And the wings commanders, command chiefs, and the supervisor who put all the work into showcasing some of the nominees that we're going to meet here today. Extremely proud of your accomplishments, extremely proud to serve alongside of you. And I am ready to meet some nominees so Edith doesn't whisper to me that I just be talking and talking. Over to you, Martha.
Thank you, Chief Mrs. White. As we prepare to recognize these outstanding airmen, we ask our nominees to please turn off your cameras at this time. Nominees, as we introduce your category and call your name, please turn on your camera again. As a reminder, these airmen won in their respective numbered Air Force prior to competing here at the Air Force Reserve Command level. And now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me the privilege of introducing our outstanding airmen and First Sergeant of the Year nominees. First, in the airman category, representing 4th Air Force, Staff Sergeant Christopher R. Kuhn.
Go ahead, Pagan, represent.
514.
Staff Sergeant Christopher Kuhn is an aircraft hydraulic system journeyman from Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, New Jersey. He is part of a total force integrated team of 24 RIGAF and 10 Air Reserve Command maintainers assigned to the 305th and 514th Maintenance Group. His maintenance qualifications support the day-to-day operations of rapid global mobility and aerial refueling operations for 30 KC-10A extender weapon systems. Representing 10th Air Force, Staff Sergeant Christy L. Riley. Staff Sergeant Christy Riley is the Combat Plans Training Supervisor at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Arizona. She is responsible for managing all training and upgrade requirements for 190 total force munitions airmen. She is also responsible for managing deployment readiness to support 14 unit tasking codes. Representing 22nd Air Force, Senior Airman Demetris L. Young. Senior Airman Demetris Young is a member of the Command Support Staff for the 94th Mission Support Group, Dobbins Air Reserve Base, Georgia. In this capacity, she provides administrative support and program management for more than 900 military and civilian personnel. Moreover, Airman Young ensures prompt execution of evaluations, discharges, and promotions while managing an assortment of programs related to airman readiness, participation, and career development. Representing Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Senior Airman Stakay Evans.
A6, baby!
Senior Airman Stakay Evans serves as a cyber transport journeyman at the Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Robbins Air Force Base, Georgia. As a cyber transport journeyman, Airman Evans engineers, sustains, and administers $220 million of secure and non-secure networks for 21,000 military and civilian personnel throughout 31 wings and 12 installations. In addition, he designs and installs voice, data, and video teleconference systems supporting the Air Force Reserve Command. To announce the winner, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. White at this time. Mrs. White, over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, I believe you're still on mute.
That's because she be talking too much, so I gotta control
Okay,
it.
so the Airman of the Year goes to Staff Sergeant Christy L. Riley.
Hey.
Carnivores!
Emma!
Go Carnivores!
Go vegans!
Yeah.
Before we move on to the next category, nominees, please leave your camera on for a couple of seconds so that we may all give you a virtual round of applause. Next, in the non-commissioned officer category, Representing 4th Air Force, Technical Sergeant Yvette Guillen.
514th again.
Go forth.
Technical Sergeant Yvette Guillen serves as the Intelligence Flight Non-Commissioned Officer in Charge for the 514th Operations Support Squadron, 514th Air Mobility Wing, Joint Base McGuire, Dix, Lakehurst, New Jersey. In this capacity, she manages the standardization and evaluation program for all intelligence flight members. She ensures her fellow airmen maintain optimal readiness status in support of the mission requirements. Representing 10th Air Force, Technical Sergeant Clint H. Melanson.
Carnivores.
Tech Sergeant Clint Melanson is the NTOIC of the NC-3 Systems 307th Bomb Wing Command Post, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. He advises and assists the commander, vice commander, and command chief on matters concerning nuclear command, control, and communications. Representing 22nd Air Force, Technical Sergeant Joanna Lee. Tech Sergeant Joanna Lee is currently serving as the non-commissioned officer in charge of the Resource Management Office for the 94th Aero Medical Evacuation Squadron, 94th Operations Group, 94th Airlift Wing, Dobbins Air Reserve Base, Georgia. She assists and advises on effective management and the use of squadron resources to fulfill the Aero Medical Evacuation mission. She also supports the Air Reserve technician staff, managing day-to-day administrative functions to include order processing, coordinating and facilitating unit training assemblies, as well as assisting in budget oversight for 89 unit members. Representing Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Technical Sergeant Kathleen Green.
Go. Way to go, Kathleen!
Tech Sergeant Kathleen Green is the NTOIC of Physical Examinations assigned to the Office of the Surgeon General, Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. She provides oversight and guidance to 46 reserve medical units throughout the command on aerospace and operational medicine programs. Additionally, she serves as an educator and liaison to reserve medical technicians in medical standards, flight medicine, and force health readiness. Representing Air Reserve Personnel Center, Staff Sergeant Manuela Tabares.
You can't.
Staff Sergeant Manuela Tabares is the NTOIC scrolling for the Air Force Reserve assigned to the Headquarters Air Reserve Personnel Center, Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado. Her primary duties include appointing enlisted reservists entering the Individual Mobilization Augmentation Program, ensuring all professional category officer candidates meet eligibility requirements prior to submitting their nominations for a constitutional presidential appointment and Senate confirmation or Secretary of Defense appointment approval. And to announce the winner, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Scobee. Mrs. Scobee, over to you, ma'am.
Okay, I have it right here. I'm more nervous than you are, I think. Air drum roll. Okay. And I'll send the winner your envelope. And the winner is NCO of the Year, Technical Sergeant Clint H.
Melanson.
Melanson.
Go.
I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
Before we move on to the next category, nominees, please leave your camera on for a couple of seconds so that we may give you all a virtual round of applause. Next, in the senior non-commissioned officer category, representing 4th Air Force, Master Sergeant Jason Henry.
Let's go, Sergeant Henry, represent.
Master Sergeant Jason Henry is a C5M flight engineer instructor at the 733rd Training Squadron located at Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Master Sergeant Henry ensures quality assurance of contracted instructors and curriculum in order to upgrade and qualify approximately 280 aviators per year. He also provides support to the squadron commander and the members of the unit as the additional duty first sergeant. Additionally, he is an active member of the 433rd Airlift Wing's Professional Development Committee. Representing 10th Air Force, Master Sergeant Jason W. Kinjemi. Master Sergeant Jason Kinjemi is a Security Forces Airman and NCOIC of Combat Arms at the 306 Rescue Squadron, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Arizona. He is responsible for equipping and training the world's most elite rescue forces and special operators in weapons and tactics. He integrates all Guardian Angel weapon system, combat arms shop across the MAJCOMs, which has positively impacted the program development and mission success. Representing 22nd Air Force, Senior Master Sergeant Amanda S. Millsap.
Way to go, Amanda!
Senior Master Sergeant Amanda Millsap is the 3F5 Wing Functional Manager for the 934th Airlift Wing, Minneapolis, Minnesota. In this position, she advises squadron, group, wing commanders, and senior leaders on administration utilization, training, and development issues. Additionally, she assigns collateral responsibility for training, classification, utilization, and career development of enlisted administration personnel. She ensures both depth and breadth of career field training experience and development by rotating administration airmen through a variety of jobs, duty positions, activities, and organizations. Finally, she communicates and coordinates with the MAJCOM functional manager. Representing headquarters, Air Force Reserve Command, Master Sergeant Jamerson Watts. Master Sergeant Jamerson Watts is the Air Traffic Control, Training Operations and Procedures Functional Manager for the headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. Master Sergeant Watts provides policy, advocacy, and oversight for 5 Air Reserve bases with 141 air traffic controllers, ensuring safety of flight for 249,000 aircraft operations annually. He oversees compliance with Headquarters Air Force and Federal Aviation Administration regulations and aligns AFRC ATC with Air Force Flight Standard Agency's initiatives. Master Sergeant Watts develops and integrates innovative training solutions, ensuring a solid foundation for the next generation of air traffic controllers. Representing Air Reserve Personnel Center, Master Sergeant Arthur F. Bloomingdale.
Woo, way to go, Bloom!
Master Sergeant Arthur Bloomingdale is the Law Office Manager for Headquarters Air Reserve Personnel Center, Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado. The center is a direct reporting unit of the Air Force Reserve Command, Headquarters ARPC provides administrative and personnel support to and records maintenance for more than 1.3 million Air Force reservists, Air National Guardsmen, and retired airmen. From initial entry to retirement, the center provides world-class support for generations of airmen throughout their military careers. In addition, Headquarters Individual Reservist Readiness and Integration Organization, RIO, reports directly to the commander of the Air Reserve Personnel Center. Headquarters RIO, with 7 detachments, is responsible for the readiness, accountability, personnel, and administrative servicing of more than 8,500 individual reservists worldwide. And to announce the winner, I'm going to turn it over to you, Chief Master Sergeant White. Sir, over to you.
All right. General Scobee, I gave you a virtual drum roll. All right. And the winner of the Senior NCO of the Year category, let me see if, can you read it? Master Sergeant Jason W. Kinjemi.
Here we go. Carnivore. 3 for 3.
Congratulations.
Before we move on to our next category, nominees, please leave your camera on for a couple of seconds so that we may give you a virtual round of applause. And finally, in our first sergeant category, Representing 4th Air Force, Master Sergeant Jose Pagan Jr.
Yes, Sergeant Pagan, proud to be here.
Master Sergeant Jose Pagan Jr. is the first sergeant of the 914th Maintenance Squadron, 914th Air Refueling Wing, Niagara Falls, Air Reserve Station, New York. He serves as the personal advisor to the commander on all matters concerning the readiness, morale, and welfare of all airmen. The group is responsible for producing safe and reliable KC-135 aircraft to achieve global reach through air refueling excellence. Representing 10th Air Force, Master Sergeant Randy C. Heyer. Master Sergeant. Master Sergeant Randy Heyer is currently serving as the first sergeant of the 419th Security Forces Squadron, 419th Fighter Wing, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. His responsibilities include ensuring the health, morale, and welfare of his airmen and their families. Representing 22nd Air Force, Master Sergeant Rebecca R. Harrison.
Sergeant Harrison.
Master Sergeant Rebecca Harrison is the first sergeant for the 908th Civil Engineer Squadron, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. She is responsible for 109 airmen in 12 elements. She provides leadership and professional development, as well as advises them on all matters concerning their health and welfare. Representing Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Senior Master Sergeant Orlando Ruiz, Jr. Senior Master Sergeant Orlando Ruiz is the first sergeant for Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Robbins Air Force Base, Georgia. He serves as the principal advisor to the Chief of the Air Force Reserve, to include 20 directors and senior raters, in maintaining discipline, standards, morale, and welfare of more than 1,300 Air Force and civilian personnel. He provides professional counsel on career progression, military standards, mission readiness, and monitors administrative actions, awards, decorations, promotions, professional military education, and family care programs. Representing Air Reserve Personnel Center, Master Sergeant Crystal Q. Knight.
Good, Sergeant Knight.
Master Sergeant Crystal Knight is the first sergeant for the Headquarters Readiness and Integration Organization at Buckley Air Force Base, Aurora, Colorado. As the first sergeant, she is an extension of the commander's authority, the communication link between the commander, unit members, and support agencies. Master Sergeant Knight is also charged with the duty to minimize negative impacts and effects on the mission, unit cohesion, readiness, and morale. To announce the winner, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant General Scobee. Chief, over to you.
Okay, I'm very excited about this because I love first sergeants. And the winner of the first sergeant of the year is Master Sergeant Jose Pagan.
Go maintenance!
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
Before we continue, nominees, please leave your cameras on for a couple of seconds so that we may all give you a virtual round of applause.
It's one shot rock.
It gives me great pleasure to present to you our recipients for the Air Force Reserve Command's Airman and First Sergeant of the Year for 2020. All winners and nominees, please turn your camera back on. Chief White, the floor is yours.
Congratulations, all of our nominees. This year, this was probably the stiffest competition that I have seen since I've been a part of this process. And any of the nominees could have went up and to be the MAGCOM winner. I'm extremely proud of you, extremely proud of your families. Thank you to the NAV command chiefs who put in that extra work, to the wing command chiefs, the supervisors, NAV commanders, NAV chiefs, again, wing commanders for all the work and effort, but most importantly to our nominees and their families. You're the ones that did the work, and we are just happy here to support you. You are amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief White. General Scobee, the floor is yours.
My wife was typing on there. She wanted to make sure that everybody got congratulated. First of all, what a great event we had this evening, and thanks for everybody participating. To the winners, what a great euphoric feeling this has to be. But I'm talking just like the command chief did, to everybody that was nominated for this and all the supervisors that put work into it. What you've accomplished is so much bigger than any of us could ever be, because it is you've fleeted up to the top of who we are. And Tim and I can tell you, we go to every MAGCOM conference, and we are so proud of what the Air Force Reserve has been able to contribute to our Air Force. Every year, we hear it from Congress and everybody else. There is no organization that could exist without the Air Force Reserve. We do it all, and it's because of people like you. To our nominees, we are so proud of you. To your families that had to endure putting up with you, we really appreciate them, because nobody knows that better than Janice and Edith, how hard it is to put up with me and Tim.
Families serve too.
Families serve too, and a lot of that burden's on you. Thanks for everything you do. We really appreciate you, and so proud to serve with you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for making this evening special for our nominees and their guests. Also, a special thanks to members of the Air Force Reserve Command who helped to make this evening a great success. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Wait. Hold up. Nobody pull up real quick. Just one quick breaking intro. I did this a little bit earlier. My apologies, but some folks were not on the horn earlier. So First Sergeant Council of the Year. Don't want to miss that one. I know it's, although not official part of the AOI, but don't want to let Westover walk away without letting the rest of the team know that Ohio, Youngstown, you got to relinquish the trophy. Westover is our First Sergeant Council of the Year. So kudos to Westover, kudos to the 301st, kudos to many absolutely amazing packages, but Westover brought it home. So go forth.
Westover!
Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations to our winners and our nominees. At this time, we are mission complete. Everyone have a good evening.